Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for this episode of the Cheerful Ghost Roundtable. The Cheerful Ghost Roundtable is an open discussion with the people from the Cheerful Ghost community, that's these guys, about awesome stuff in video games brought to you by the greatest website on the planet, cheerfulghost.com. So basically what you do is you go to your web browser, you put in your URL bar and you go cheerfulghost.com, enter. And don't forget the enter or it's not going to go. All right, everybody. We like to open up every episode of the Cheerful Ghost Roundtable by talking about what we're drinking and what we're playing. We are going to start off with White Boy Slim. White Boy Slim, can you open up the evening talking about what you are drinking and what you are playing?
Well, you know what? Usually when we get to the what are you drinking stage, I'm always the one that's drinking a beer, pretty much regularly. This time, I'm afraid I did not have a chance to go to the grocery store and buy more beer because I drank all that I had over the weekend. So this was going to be my first sober episode. Now I remembered I've got margarita stuff. Olay! As for what I've been playing, I recently set up my PC to run a whole bunch of retro game emulators.
So why didn't you set up your Xbox One to play video games?
Don't have an Xbox One.
So why don't you buy an Xbox One? Don't you believe in Microsoft's vision for a better gaming tomorrow?
No, in fact, I don't even think Microsoft really believes in their original vision anymore, since they pretty much scrapped all their original plans.
Okay, so I'm sorry, you were using your dinosaur-aged PC. Continue.
Yes, to run some retro games, everything from the original Nintendo through the Game Boys to PlayStation 1 and 2, and it's been kind of cool. Lately, I picked up Final Fantasy 12. It's one I enjoyed playing before, but I never got around to beating it. So I don't even remember where my original save was. So I figured it was a good time to start over, try it again. It's been fun, although I gotta say I don't remember the beginning of the game being so dull. Like the main character you start with is one of those.
Is it like 50 missions about like raking leaves?
No, it's not that bad, but I think I've been playing it for maybe an hour and a half now, and I'm still in the tutorial. I don't even have all the options available for me in my menu screen now, because everything hasn't been activated yet. And it doesn't help that the starting character you start as, Vaughn, is one of the most unlikable main characters in any video games. Luckily, the supporting cast later in the game is much better. So
he likes pushing over little kids.
No, he basically is the obnoxious little kid that you want to push over. So, But anyways, it's been fun breaking out some older games, just kind of picking up and playing Mega Man X for just a few minutes, just for fun, or trying out the original Legend of Zelda on my PC. Got everything running with my Xbox controller. I mean, I have an Xbox One, but I at least have the controller.
You are partaking in Microsoft's vision for a better gaming future.
Hey, I will give credit where credit's due, and this is a pretty awesome gamepad. So.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Is that the 360 gamepad or the Xbox One?
360.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It is a good gamepad.
Yeah, very much.
Okay. Who's next? Which John?
Jesus.
Master Script. Master Script.
That was bad timing.
Yes.
Now take a minute. It's all right. Take a few minutes to cough.
I just choked on my water.
This cough break is brought to you by Mentos, the fresh maker.
Today's Cheerful Ghost is brought to you by Ricola.
Exactly. Cheerfulghost.com. When I'm not busy reading video game reviews on cheerfulghost.com, I'm drinking Sprite.
That was perfect timing. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I was reverting to the womb, trying to breathe my water. Okay. Which, by the way, is what I'm drinking, water. Well, I was drinking it until I started choking on it. As far as what I'm playing, I have to actually revert to my Steam list because I completely forget these days. Cider Arcade I picked up on the Steam sale, and it's a side-scrolling shooter, kind of a not really a defender. Well, kind of. It's something like that. Really cool though. And then I've really been determined to beat Assassin's Creed Revelations and Shadow of the Colossus, which I feel complete and utter shame that I haven't in Shadow of Colossus yet. But Assassin's Creed Revelations, not so much. It's more of a pain in the ass that I just have to endure. But the Shadow of Colossus is amazing. I'm really embarrassed that I haven't played that all the way through yet, but it is blowing my mind. It's just such an amazing game.
I've heard great things about it.
It really is. It is just the space. I love games that exhibit really great balance of space, and this does it in great detail. It's really beautiful for the time, and I'm actually playing the remade version on the PS3, not the PS2 version. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at picking that up because that's also one I've never played. So, but everybody that I know that's tried it loves it. So at some point, I'm gonna need to get that.
Yeah, Eco was the first game that I played. First game that I beat on the PS2 or played on the PS2. It was a really early game that I played on the PS2, and I absolutely loved it. And getting into Shadow Colossus, and then I guess crossing fingers for Last Guardian whenever that comes out. But yeah, they're amazing atmosphere in those games. Good stuff. Good.
Yeah, I love when awesome games like that get sort of like the HD treatment or whatnot. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. What are you drinking, John? What are you choking on?
So yeah, over here I'm choking on this water just like you, man. Just
good.
For the money shot there of the water.
Yeah, I know. Both of you.
I know exactly. Totally, I know. We're just reverting to the original stuff here. But let's see. What I've been playing is I got a review copy of Shovel Knight by Yacht Club Games, and wow, is it great! And I can't talk about a ton of it because they have like a slight embargo on it, so you can only talk about a little bit of it. But basically, it's if you love DuckTales, if you loved Mega Man, if you love Nintendo games, this game is for you. You need to buy it. Like, it's so good. Travis, he should be here to talk about it because he totally geeked out on it and beat it in like a few days because he loved it so much. So I'm sure he's going to talk more about it in the future. I think it's fantastic. I'll do like I'll probably even try to do some videos of the game. It's so great. It's just got that Mega Man DuckTales feel to it, but plus extra stuff that I don't want to spoil for anyone. The story's great. It's great. And what I did was it's Windows only right at the moment, but they're going to release it on Mac and Linux and the Wii U and the 3DS actually. And I streamed it to my living room on my Mac, and I played the Xbox controller and I used Steam streaming on the TV, and it just worked great. It was great. The other games that I picked up in the recent Steam summer sale, which I'll talk a little bit more about, is Far Cry and Far Cry 2. I never played the original Far Cry before, actually, and it's hard. Wow, is it hard. It's like punishingly hard game. So it's cool. And then I played the second Far Cry on the PlayStation 3, and I picked it up on the PC, and it just looks a million times better, because I can run it in full, amazing mode or whatever. It's the same game. It's really, really good. I primarily bought the Far Cry pack for Far Cry 3, but it also came with Blood Dragon 2, and I haven't even cracked those games open yet, so that's great. The other game I've been playing, which I picked up when Script, when you and I were at PAX, was called Cannon Brawl. It was the game that we bought from those indie devs. Remember that? Right. Mm-hmm. I just decided to play it because it takes me forever to get to some games. Oh, nice. It's really fun. I again played it on my Steam, played it on in the living room with the controller, and it's really, really great. Basically, it's a game where you fly a little Zeppelin around and you set up your base. and you overwhelm the enemy's base using cannons and shields and stuff. It's really great. They've added quite a lot to it since we played it last, and it's super fun. It's on Mac and Windows right now. Hopefully they get a Linux port so we'll put it on Steam machine.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing, and kind of just kick in right to the next game that we've all been playing, called the Steam Summer Sale for 2014. Now, there's badges and cards, and you've got teams, and do you guys understand how that really works? Because I'll be honest, I kind of don't care about any of that stuff. So I honestly could really, all I know is script. Our team won the first day, and we haven't won since. We're on Team Pink. What's this crap? How does it work? I don't really even understand it. I'm not even sure I care, but maybe you guys do.
Well, I believe that it's all sales driven, where each team, when you initially participate in the sale, you can click to be assigned to a team, or when you craft a badge, you're assigned to a team. Craft a summer sale badge, you're assigned to a team, and your congregation of players across the country or the world, I guess it's all worldwide, but you get assigned to a team, and whoever generates, whichever team through their members generates the most sales, I guess, and crafts the most badges and gets points assigned. You get points for the badges you create, so the accumulated point total for your team goes towards your team's progress for the day. I guess it's a 24-hour period, and then when that day ends, the team with the highest point total gets a bevy of rewards, whether it's more cards to keep playing, or I think one of the chances was 30 members from that team that helped to contribute towards the win gets the possibility of getting 3 games from their Steam library, their wish list, for free. So it's
30 players from 1 million people. That's a pretty damn
something
good,
like that. Yeah.
Those are pretty damn good odds right there.
It's weird. It's just
Valve
kind of
is good to us. They are so good to us. They're basically inventing a game where we win by buying things, and then we have an extremely low chance of winning a game that they already own for free. It's as if the gifts never stop with these people. It's incredible.
And it's perpetuating the e-commerce in the marketplace with trading and buying the cards. And what's really interesting is that day one of the sale, and I remember last year at the summer sale they had, or maybe it was the holiday one where they did this, but you go in the marketplace and there's cards available to sell, so you can craft badges, and there would be such a congestion in the marketplace with people constantly refreshing to get the best deals, on the prices, because it's all, buy low, sell high, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it got to be so congested for the summer sale that if you go into the page now, if you haven't seen it yet, you can see that they've actually re-engineered those specific pages where it's actually an order option now, where you can tell the page, you can enter in, input how much you want to buy the card for, and as soon as it becomes available at that price, then it'll populate into your inventory. So you don't even have to click and refresh, because
that's a really great. Yeah, that's a great.
It's a great way for them to keep the money coming in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to worry about the site crashing. But
of course, everyone, I kid about Steam. I love them. Everything they do is great. It's all for us. They bleed. It's amazing. I'm not that cynical.
Lies.
It'd be kind of cynical. It is honestly kind of a weird thing, though, right?
It is. No, I like the fact that they're gamifying a sale. I think that's really great, because everyone loves the Steam Summer Sale. I think so, because again, I think it's kind of cool. At the other hand, I'm just like, we are your sheep, and here is our wallets. But on one hand, look, if everyone's going to give over their gold bricks to Steam every sale, which everyone does, then you might as well be happy when you do it by having some free badges, right? So and a game where like your team wins by you spending more money, and what's more American than that, really? I mean, think about it. Like you're on a team who wins by spending money. Like God bless America. I mean, seriously, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like what? Like Gabe is a genius.
Or somebody
Or
there is just
somebody.
like,
Someone
we
there.
could make even more money by getting people to compete against who's buying more of our stuff.
Exactly. There's a meeting. He's like, all right, you know what? I got this idea. Got a cigar in his mouth. This is totally a smoky room. We're going to have them compete by spending money. Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
See, my favorite part is the whole trading card thing, because those don't exist in any kind of physical way. They're just a graphic in Steam.
Yeah.
But people are buying and selling these things for real money, and Valve is getting a cut every time it happens.
Okay. So you cynical people over there that I judge. Okay, you guys judge these cards. Okay, but on the other
I'm not
hand,
judging.
no.
I'm a
On the
complete
other hand,
hypocrite.
exactly.
Look at my Steam level.
You check out. I had a Summer Sale 2014 card. Tungsten was like, "Well, that's a nice card you have there. How about an orange box for it?" And I'm like, "That's the greatest deal in the entire universe for me. So I will hand you this card for a copy of the orange box. I will take things for not things any day. It's an incredible thing. What I hope happens is that people value these cards so much higher than actual video games, so that I can trade a card that I don't care about for something that people like that I do care about, which is a video game. So more of those, please.
But it's all. I mean, by that logic, video games aren't anything. I mean, they only exist
Well,
in digital
I can.
realm.
Well, but you
Play
can
a video
play the
game. I
game,
can't
and
play a
You can.
card.
But people gain some modicum of enjoyment out of collecting these cards and
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, it's true. I'm
badging
being
them
a little
into
cynical. Absolutely.
something to. No, I'm just saying it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
relative. It's all
For
relative.
sure. Well, you got to catch them all, man. I mean, it's like the Pokemon thing, and I'm totally down with Pokemon. Although in Pokemon, you actually have a monster that you can that you have to feed,
Totally.
so it's a little different.
no, I think you're
It
thinking
is
of
all the-
Tamagotchi.
I don't know. I don't think it's any different. It's still a monkey to feed. It's still there.
Exactly. I still must insatiate this thing that I could. I'm so poor. That's basically it. We're just. So, anyways, so this 2014 Steam Summer
Wait,
Sale.
wait.
So,
Tim was going to say something.
Oh,
I
go ahead.
totally cut
Go
him off.
ahead. Go ahead.
Did he freeze? Are you frozen?
Is he frozen? He's back in.
Sorry about that. My
all right.
Firefox just crashed.
You have your doppelganger to your left or whatever.
That's a good thing I cut you off then.
It's true. So you were saying something about something? White Boy son?
Oh, I was trying to say that, like you, I hope that the cards do keep increasing in value,
Oh, yeah.
because I have no problem just turning around and selling those to people so that I can take that money and then get free games, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is all I've done with my Steam trading cards, is throw them up on the market and get some money back.
All right. So anybody who's in listener land, those Steam cards are way more valuable than you ever possibly thought. So when you're buying them, pay a little extra, because it needs to happen to raise the value of them.
Anything less than $1 is just wrong.
Exactly. You're just robbing the universe of happiness. And by happiness, I mean my happiness, and by happiness, I mean video games. Okay, so what games have we picked up? Because that's the whole point of the sale. Although maybe according to Valve, it's to have your team win or something. But maybe it's to get a good deal on a game. Script, did you get a good deal on any games? Anything? Buy anything?
I did. I picked up. I mean, I tried to stay. I'm on a budget. I really am.
Yay! It's the first place to start when you do a Steam sale.
I'm really trying to stick to a budget. I went down to GameStop. Oh, that almost made me choke again. And I picked up a $20.
I almost threw up personally. So go ahead. Don't say that word
Uh,
again.
And I picked up a $20 Steam card, so I'm trying to work within that. I've gone a little. I started picking up these little $1 and $2 things, and I was like, okay, I need a budget, so I went, took $20, got that, I'm in. So I picked up a couple things that were a few dollars here and there. Mostly, like I picked up Yearwalk, Cider Arcade, Sang. I don't even know how to say it. Sang-Froid. Tales of Werewolves. It's supposed to be like a tower defense in the mountains.
A werewolf tower defense game. That's
werewolf tower
incredible.
defense game.
Oh, man. We need more people making games so we can get like Yeti tower defense and also vampires. Go ahead. Then Mummy tower defense.
I picked up Halo Spartan Assault because I'm a big Halo fan, and just the idea of having Halo on Steam is it makes me feel a little warm inside.
Yeah, I saw that game there. I did. That looks really interesting.
And the ones that I kind of have spent more money than I wanted to, but I picked them up because I've really been wanting to play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I played the demo on it last year sometime and really liked it. And I know it's kind of in that weird, like, most people aren't really interested, but the people that have played it and that are into it, it's just a really solid game, and it's a very different experience than the typical Metal Gear fare. It's very hack and slash, very action oriented, as opposed to the sneaking and stealthing. So, that's Call of Juarez Gunslinger. That's the other one that I picked up.
I played the demo for that. That was interesting.
Really, really cool, and it struggles on my system for some reason. It's not really that graphic intensive, but my fans kick into high gear, so I try to adjust the settings accordingly. But story is phenomenal. If you're a Western fan at all, it is a really great story of this bounty hunter and his tale and experience with lots of Western legends like Billy the Kid and obviously my knowledge of Western, the Earps and Johnny Ringo and the Cowboys and
Darth Vader
and
exactly. Right. Captain EO. Captain
EO and the last Starfighter's in there.
Yeah, the last Starfighter, right. Captain EO, my favorite gunslinger from the Old West, basically.
That's right.
He's also a great dancer as well. He's a great dancer.
He is a great dancer. But really, really fun game. Really fun game. Yeah. So I think that's it. And I'm holding out. I've got a few dollars left that I'm holding out. I almost picked up Batman Arkham Origins today, but I didn't for some reason, and I'm kind of waiting for something. I don't really know what I'm waiting for yet, but I'm waiting for something to be like, oh, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. White Boy Slim, what do you got?
Well,
What'd you buy?
I have bought nothing for this Steam Summer Sale. I have managed.
Can I ask you a question? Like, do you have no soul then, or is it just that you don't like happiness? Which is, I'm curious.
I think the problem is that he still has his soul, which is.
I have not yet given my soul to the gods at Valve. No, it was. I mean, part of it is that I too am on a budget. I'm also about to go on vacation, so I would like to kind of keep my spending cash for that. But also, I don't know, there's been a couple things that I almost caved to buy, but nothing really was like so irresistible that I just had to like pick it up. The only one that I almost caved over, and I think that's still on sale, so there's still time, is the Fallout New Vegas is discounted pretty steep right now.
Yeah, it is, yep.
I loved Fallout, and so I would like to get New Vegas at some point, but just haven't managed to pull the trigger yet. You know, I'm pretty cheap, so anytime it actually physically requires me to get out my debit or credit card, is very hard for me. So so far I've managed to resist the urge. Final Fantasy 14 is on sale right now, and that's kind of tempting. But I think I'll hold off on that.
Realm Reborn.
Yeah, I played 11 for probably like 4 to 5 years, something like that. So when 14 came out, that was I was pretty interested in that. But originally it flopped pretty hard. But now that they've revamped it and everything, it looks a lot better. And I don't know, I've been considering maybe giving it a shot.
So you haven't played any of it? You didn't play the beta or anything?
No, I applied for the beta but never got in.
I got to play it on PS4 and it's pretty sick. If there wasn't a monthly subscription, I would play it, but I just can't afford to.
Oh yeah, no. If there was no monthly subscription, I'd be there in a heartbeat. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't think I'd play it often enough to justify the subscription, so that's what's really holding me back.
Right.
That sort of keeps me away from most MMOs. There's no way. Like, I don't know. I mean, I play video games I play them relatively often, but not enough to justify a sub every month. There's just no way.
Well, if it's the only game you're playing, like I played World of Warcraft for a long time when it first came out, and the only reason that I could justify spending that much money a month is that for one, I didn't have time because that's a very full game. I didn't have time to play anything else and couldn't really afford to play anything else, so that's all I was playing. And if I was going out and buying, $50, $60 games once every month or 2 months or whatever, it comes out about the same. You're actually spending a little less with a subscription because it's only like $15 a month. But then you do that for 4 or 5 years, and then you go back and look at how much you've spent on one game, and you're like, oh my god. But you get your entertainment out of it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, it's a great value if you take all the time that you've spent in it, and by how much how much the sub is. It's usually a really great deal. So
but you can't play anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So I've only picked up one thing during the summer sale, and that's the Far Cry bundle. So I really wanted to pick up Far Cry 3. That was one of the games I picked up. And I had a few others on my list, and I saw Far Cry 3. Was like, oh, okay, it's like $5. I'll pick that up. And I'm like, oh, wait, you can get all of them for like $15. This is like Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, and Far Cry Blood Dragon. And I'm like, that's a great deal. So that was great. And so I got so many games from that, and then I got Shovel Knight, like a press copy or whatever, and then I got another press copy of a game that I can't talk about because it's in because of the embargo or whatever, which is super great, and I'll talk about it when it launches. But yeah, I mean, so I don't know if I need any more games. Like I've got already so many games already that I've been playing, and so not even counting all the games that I already have for bundles and stuff, so I'm good. Like, I kind of wanted to get Pixel Piracy. I really wanted to pick up Magicite. I wanted to get, like, Planetary Annihilation, but it's like, okay, I can afford all those games. It's great and everything, but I've already got every Far Cry plus, like, Shovel Knight plus the other game that I can't talk about because it's embargoed or whatever, but it might rhyme with Monsters Ate My Birthday Cake. But I think that, so I was like, okay, well, with all those other games, like, I don't know, I can't, like, pull the trigger on yet another game. It's like, I just, I have to wait. I just can't do it. But there are a lot of really, really great deals. Like, so those 2 games that I mentioned, I'd also like to get, there was another one that looked really cool, but it was Windows only, so I was like, I kind of didn't want to do that. Kind of don't like buying games that are only available on Windows anymore. Anyways.
Yeah. As opposed to like Linux and
yeah, exactly right, because it basically, like, someday I'll probably use Linux for gaming exclusively, and then it would be nice, so it's like I'm not only buying games that are only on Windows for the most part. Not to say that I don't, because the new Wolfenstein game was Windows only or whatever, and Far Cry is only Windows only, but I'm trying to buy games that are cross-platform for the most part. Cool. All right, so another interesting thing happened, and this was a bit ago, but E3 happened. So the big entertainment expo to the third power, or is that just three E's, or entertainment expo extra? I don't know what the hell it means. Anyways, so E3 is a big video game expo in lovely California, where all the big game companies get together to dazzle us with their amazing sorcery and wizardcraft. Well, as anything that they announced or anything that we saw were we excited about? Script, anything cool coming out of E3 that blew your mind, that blew your video gamer mind?
Yeah, like kind of everything. I was really, I don't know. Overall, I was excited about a lot. I made a list. This is really sad, and I'm not going to go down this list. But I started to make a list.
It was unicorns. Okay, the second thing. No, go ahead.
And I'm strictly talking about games. I'll talk about platform performance or conferences later. But as far as the games that came out, I started to make a list of all the games that I wanted to talk about, and it started to become a list of every game that was announced. So I was like, wow, that's pointless. I guess the most exciting things that I saw, Splatoon from Nintendo on the Wii U.
That looked really interesting. The color game, right?
Fun. I don't have a Wii U. That is a driving force behind it. The thing about the Wii U and a lot of the games that they announced on the Wii that aren't making me like run out and get one is that I think all of them were announced for 2015. So I've got some time.
Yes, very much.
The Zelda game that they showed, which really wasn't anything, the scope of what they seem that they want to do is impressive, and if they can pull it off, it'd be great. But it's kind of I'll see it, I'll believe when I see it kind of thing.
If Nintendo releases a Skyrim Zelda, I am in.
Yes, absolutely.
In a heartbeat, dude.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I will be buying. I will probably more than likely be buying a Wii U if they release Skyrim Zelda.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I think they had us all when they said open world Zelda.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of skeptical of that. I'm waiting to what they see. Open world, I don't know what Nintendo means by that. I hope they mean the right thing. If they don't, but I'm a little cynical about that. But if it's Skyrim Zelda, sign my shit up. Like, sign me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There was a couple more that sparked my interest. The gameplay, and I don't necessarily know if it was gameplay of The Division. I saw something of The Division, Tom Clancy's The Division, that looked like an amazing co-op experience. And that's one of the things that I noticed with quite a few of the games that are coming out is that a lot of them are driven towards co-op experiences. I
think that's really cool.
The biggest one was Destiny. They had gameplay on the show floor. The beta was out, or the alpha was out on the PS4, and I participated in that, and it was really good. Like, I am a Halo fan, so I'm slightly biased.
Yeah.
And despite the whole Moon Wizard fiasco, and poor Peter Dinklage for taking so much shit from the internet. I mean, oh my god.
I'm sorry, seriously. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking? Moon Wizard fiasco?
Have you seen any of the footage of Destiny?
I saw like a trailer, but are you talking about gameplay footage?
Yeah, there's a.
I've seen some, but clearly not any of this Moon Wizardry.
In Tron, Tron movie, they had the bit character.
Oh yeah.
Around. Destiny has something like that. That's an AI that kind of narrates you through the game. And Peter Dinklage is the voice for that.
Oh, that sounds fun.
AI.
Cool.
It does sound fun. And on all the trailers, it seemed really good. He's got this cool, robotic, very monotone, serious voice.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
In the alpha, it's alpha gameplay, and I don't think anybody that is ragging on it really takes this into consideration, so they do it anyway. But they didn't add the effect to give him that robotic tone, the animatronic or whatever. Yeah. So he just sounds like Peter Dinklage reading in a monotone voice. And one of the lines going into the campaign story mission that they give you is announcing that one of the bosses, well, it's like a sub boss or this thing that you fight, is a wizard, and
That's cool. That's
and
cool.
I mean, it's
You are
cool.
going
There's a
to
lot of
fight the
characters in
wizard.
there.
Wizard
Well, no,
fight.
the wizard. There hasn't been any sign of these wizards on the planet thus far, and so he announces that that wizard came from the moon. And just the way that he delivered it and the context of the situation, it didn't bother me. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, well, that's kind of cheesy, but it didn't like ruin the experience of the game.
Prepare yourself for Moon Wizard fight.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people are just.
That's great.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious, and
Why is everyone? Were people raging on this?
the people were raging about
Moon
how people
Wizard Gate 2014. Never
raging
forget.
about
It kind of became a meme of that wizard came from the moon.
yeah.
Well, I
They're
love the
raging
meme.
about
And
the-
that's hilarious. Moon Wizard. That's great.
It is hilarious. It actually is hilarious, and they're raging about the writing. They're raging about how Peter Dinklage is the absolute wrong choice for this character because of all this,
God.
and
The only person who can say Moon Wizard good is Morgan Freeman.
right, but in classic Bungie style, they took the whole thing and turned it around and actually released a limited edition T-shirt that shows that AI character saying that wizard came from the moon, and you can get it on the Bungie store
Great.
now, which is
That's
just
great.
brilliant. It really
Well,
was. It was really
It's the whole like I used to be a adventurer, but I took an arrow to the knee. Like maybe there's less hate there for that one, but like the wizard came from the moon. That's amazing. Like, yeah, like
I think it'll turn around. I think that it'll go forward as a fond alpha memory, and the game will come out, and Peter Dinklage's voice will sound amazing, and I think it'll all be in the past, and because the rest of the game, I tell you, is phenomenal. They're doing some amazing things technically with how they're incorporating co-op and team fights and bringing your party into a bigger world where other parties can come in and interact and impact the gameplay. It's a lot like it's very similar. I don't know, this is a horrible comparison, but it's kind of similar to the way it's kind of like a merging between the way Journey did it and Fable 2 did it. And Fable 2 is such a horrible example, but it's kind of like that, where people just kind of show up and you can experience that gameplay in their world, but it's all one world. In Fable 2, they did it's a horrible. You actually had to join their server or whatever, but this is all seamless and it's gorgeous, and it's not Halo. It's not Halo.
For both of you guys about Destiny, one of the things I saw was in Sony's presser, which was like, we're going to get 5,000 hours of exclusive Destiny content for the PlayStation 4. Suck it, Xbox. Okay, that's not exactly what they said, but it may as well be what they said, because there's so much exclusive crap on the PlayStation 4, which is fine if you've got one. But my question is like, I don't like I make fun of the Xbox One, but that's not cool, right? I mean, like, I get it. Sony threw a bunch of money at their face. Like, that's great, good for money. But I'm just thinking of like, that's not cool. Like, it'll probably come to PC someday, maybe, and like I'm never going to be able to play that. Like, that's kind of a bummer, right?
Well,
I'm actually all right with them making fun of Xbox.
it's they've announced that it's timed exclusive, so it's probably only going to be there, 6 months to a year, and it's really not a lot of content. It's a few hours of story mission that I'm aware of, some guns and some cosmetic skins or armor or something, but it's not. From what I've heard, it's not a ton of content.
Okay.
I think the exclusivity is the bulk of it is in getting content early and releasing. Like, PS4 was the only system to get the alpha, and I'm sure that they're going to be releasing patches or updates or DLC or whatever they're going to do first on the PS4 and then to the Xbox One. So that is, I think, just as much I don't know. I can't. Anything that I say would be pure speculation on why they're doing it that way. I'm sure it all involves money.
Money, right?
I think that it's interesting because Bungie has been under the Microsoft wing for, well, since they've been, well,
Yeah.
ever since they've been a console company. I mean, that
Since
I remember
Halo,
when
at
they,
least.
yeah, I mean, I remember when Halo was supposed to be a Mac exclusive game,
Yeah.
and then Microsoft bought them, and then apparently the world didn't end. So I think this is a good thing with them coming to the PS4. Maybe showing some favoritism or whatever. I don't know, but
It's interesting. What do you
it'll all
think?
be good.
Was there anything out of E3 that excited you, White Boy?
Well, I'm pretty excited about Destiny 2. I'm probably not going to get it right away because I'm really hoping it'll come to PC. That's kind of where I would like to play it. Although it is coming out on PlayStation 3, which I already own, so I might end up just going for it and picking it up there. It probably depends. I don't know if they've talked much about like cross-platform play. Like if I get it on PlayStation 3, am I going to be able to play with anybody playing it on PlayStation 4, or like, when it eventually comes to PC, will I get to play with the console people? Really, I just want to be able to play with as many of my friends as possible. So it's probably going to end up, wherever my friends end up is kind of where I'm going to migrate, if there's no cross-platform play. I'm really excited about No Man's Sky. That looked so cool. I'm also really hoping that one doesn't stay a PlayStation 4 exclusive. I don't want to buy a PlayStation 4 if I don't have to. I'd rather just play PC games.
Yeah, I agree. I hope like with No Man's Sky, like with The Witness, which no one talked about at all this E3. It wasn't there. It wasn't shown at all. The Witness is going to be a PlayStation exclusive for a while, and then it's going to come out to PC too, and I'm definitely going to play that on PC. So
yeah, I'm hoping No Man's Sky will be the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I'm actually surprisingly excited about a lot of what Nintendo has to offer. I'm seriously considering getting a Wii U, maybe by year's end, maybe like for the holidays, or I might push it off till next year when some of the bigger games start to hit in 2015. Yeah. But I'm a big Smash Brothers fan, so the fact that that's coming out is a big incentive. I mean, I could get it for Game Boy, but I don't know. I feel like that's something that would be better on a console. Splatoon looks really fun. Some of the new little games that Miyamoto was showing off, where they're doing cool things with the tablet, it kind of looked interesting. I'm surprisingly excited about Hyrule Warriors. I think that actually looks really fun. I like the Dynasty Warrior games. I don't think they needed to make like 12 or however many that they've made so far. But overall, I mean, the Dynasty Warrior games, they're fun, hack and slash, and throwing a Zelda skin on that actually looks like a lot of fun. And then, like we already mentioned, the new Zelda, they had a really impressive trailer. They said a lot of really awesome stuff at their press conference. If they can deliver on that, I think it's going to be pretty big. So I think that was pretty much it out of E3 that I was really interested in.
So like you guys, I think my biggest takeaway from E3 was Nintendo. So for me, if I'm looking at a console, just purely like at a traditional console, I think the one that makes the most sense for me is the Wii U, right? And I was talking to my friend about this too, and he thinks the same thing, which is interesting. And he was kind of wondering why, because he was really, really edging towards PlayStation 4. And I think the reason why is because we can get most of a lot of the PlayStation 4 kinds of experiences on the PC now. You know what I mean? There's only a few exclusives for the most part. Now, you're right, Script. They're not all of them, and they're not all there and stuff like that. But you can plug in a controller and, for the most part, play a lot of those games. Now, can you always get all of them, at that, moment it's released? No, not all the time. But GTA 5 is coming out to PC, so again, after 4,000 years, eventually they all sort of come there sooner or later. So for me, I'm looking for games that I can't get on the PC, and so far no one's made a really great kart racing game. That just hasn't happened yet. So Mario Kart's like the best for that, right? There's like a million platformers, but there's no one's doing quite the same thing that Nintendo's doing. With the Mario, Zelda games, this new Zelda Skyrim game, and the Wii U just is sort of unique enough to maybe get me to come back one last time to the traditional console space, because I'm not sort of looking in that direction anymore. However, Nintendo's press conference, loaded with the fact that I played my friend's Wii U, and played Mario Kart 8 and just had such a blast. It's like, could happen. It's a possibility, depending on where they go, which I think is really interesting, because I never really considered that I'd go Nintendo, you know what I mean, at all. So that's kind of interesting. So there were some things that happened at E3 that maybe we were less than excited about. So we'll talk about those, but we're also going to hand out the Cheerful Ghost Awards. We're all going to hand out an award to E3 after this is over. So yeah. Anyways, what were the things that you guys were less than excited about that happened at E3? White Boy Slim.
Pretty much anything that came out of the Microsoft press conference was, I don't know, man. Halo, like the Master Chief Edition, was kind of cool, but
really cool. If it came to PC, it'd be even cooler.
Yeah, but I don't know. Nothing really got me excited.
Sure.
From the Microsoft console space. And as much as I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky, the PlayStation 4 exclusive was a pretty big downer. Yeah. Also, Square Enix, what the hell? No Final Fantasy 15, no Kingdom Hearts 3. They were barely there, it seems. So I don't know. Those were my biggest letdowns.
They were on vacation. Don't. They had to take some time off. Okay.
I think my biggest letdown was probably, and it wasn't. It was kind of a gradual letdown. Well, Fable Legends was a bit of a disappointment. I really enjoy the Fable games, and I was looking forward to seeing what would come out of Lionhead now that Peter Molyneux's not in the mix. I was thinking maybe they'll be able to put out a realistically, developed game where they're not promising the entire universe. And then delivering something that they've done before, but just a little better. The co-op thing with it seems really cool, but it just seemed really... There seemed to be so many other better co-op games that were announced, like Evolve and Hunt, Horrors of the Gilded Age. Even, yeah, I don't know, Star Wars Battlefront. There's just so many better games, and I think the Fable Legends it looked like something that should have come out like years ago, and it was just, I don't know, that was kind of a heart sink for me. And just the Microsoft press conference initially was like, oh wow, they're focusing on games, and then the Sony press conference came out, and I was like, Microsoft who? And then Nintendo came out, and I was like, oh, a Nintendo documentary on how they made games. And some of them are kind of cool, but they're not going to come out for another year. So yeah, I don't know. Microsoft was a bit of a downer, because I was really on the fence getting an Xbox One this fall. Really on the fence, and it's probably not going to happen for another year or two now.
Yeah.
Nintendo bumped up in the priority.
Yeah. So I think my biggest disappointment of E3 was mostly E3. So now this is the first year that I was like, I'm gonna watch the streams. I'm gonna follow this. This year's gonna blow my mind. Like I'm all into E3. Like I put all the things on my calendar. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, gonna watch this, gonna watch this. And every single one of them was almost a letdown. Like Microsoft, I know they weren't trying to put people to sleep. Like that wasn't their goal. But and I want to talk about something that people don't talk about too much, but you just watch that Microsoft press conference and just Okay. Like, put your hand up in the air every time they seem genuine to you when they're talking about anything, right? Just
Yeah.
they're not cheese balls. They're not salesy. This isn't some like, khaki, like business luncheon thing. Just raise your hand whenever it seemed authentic or they were talking about anything real. Like your hand's never gonna go up. So like, and that was most of the conferences. Like most of those, like I don't know who they're talking to. Like I think they're talking to boring old people or something because they're certainly not talking to me. Like most of them. So in fact, I remember one press conference that did amazingly well, and it was Ubisoft. Their presser, I forget her name now. She was fantastic. Anyways, she just was
Oh,
live. Aisha,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
She was great. She's funny,
She's,
like, what?
she's a comedian. She's an actual.
Well, absolutely, and you can tell that she's
Aisha
got some
Tyler?
gravitas. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, right. She was fantastic. And she wasn't fake about it. She actually seemed like she genuinely loved games, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, take note, everyone, because, like, they're just lifeless corpse shows. Like, and that right there bothered me more than anything. Like, why do I give a shit about what you're showing me? I don't even think you give a shit about what you're talking about. And if you do, you're just, this is not, again, this is not a PowerPoint presentation for the boring committee. So that whole tone just is entire, like, compare it to an Apple press conference, which is entirely exciting, paced well. Like, it's just a garbage dump compared to that. I mean, it's not interesting. Nintendo was better, but anyways, so just I'm talking about the Microsoft for the most part, and EA's was, oh my god, just wow, just anyways, like they were talking about. I mean, I might as well have been a car insurance expo. And I love video. I mean, I love video games. So I'm just like, dear God, what are you doing? Stay away from video games. Yeah. So that.
Yeah, and as a guy who works in the car insurance industry, let me tell you, that's not an industry you want to emulate, man.
Exactly. So they were like interviewing. Microsoft was interviewing people in the audience, and I'm like, the interview questions were just as bad as, so why is Xbox One the greatest console in the world? And I'm like, this is not an interview. So, anyways.
And to be fair, I guess, I mean, E3 is a business expo. I mean, you actually can't get into E3 unless you're in the industry. I mean, it's not open to the public like PAX is or like Comic-Con or something
Turn
like
those
that.
streams off then.
No, I agree.
You
totally.
must be this boring to watch this stream. You know what
No,
I
I
mean?
totally agree. And I think that's the paradox with E3 is that it is this, industry-only event, and yet they broadcast it worldwide. So who do you think's watching? We are. The gamers, the buyers, the consumers.
I know.
And it really is a sad display. And are we doing the awards now? Can I just give the award now?
Yes, go ahead. Give out your award.
My award was going to go...
The E3 Cheerful Ghost 2014 Awards. Start out with script. We're giving them away. There we are.
My award is for it's for Microsoft because of all the stuff that we're talking about. We're really trying hard to get it, guys. We really are trying hard to get it. We're totally not there, and it may take us until the Xbox 4, I guess, is what they're going to call it, 20 years from now. They just don't get it. Microsoft I'm sorry, they just don't get it. They need to bring Jay Allard back is what they need to do because they don't understand what they're doing. And I think they're struggling really hard to figure that out, and they're just not getting it. And it's coming off as canned and uninteresting and really boring. And then it's just really easy for somebody like Nintendo or Sony who's been in the industry for forever and they know games and they make games to come in and say, what the hell was that? We got games here. We know how to play them and how to deliver them, and it's so much more exciting. But Microsoft is just like, it's sad. It's really sad. So the sad E3, I'm trying hard but not getting it award goes to Microsoft. Congratulations.
Yeah, it is sad. Good job, Microsoft. Congratulations. That was a well-earned award. White Boy Slim, what do you got?
All right. So for my award, I'm going to give out the E3 Biggest Cock Tease Award. This is going to go out to... Can I get a drum roll? Oh, wrong drum. Anyways.
That was so funny.
Okay, so it is going out to Square Enix.
Yay!
So I already talked about how Square Enix rolled into E3, and they were like, yeah, no Final Fantasy 15, no Kingdom Hearts. But hey, guys, you remember that Final Fantasy 7? Yeah, you really been wanting an HD remake of that, right? Well, guess what we got for you? We've got a mobile game.
Yeah. Oh. But I like
People are begging for a Final Fantasy VII HD remake, and they give us the shitty bike mini game redone in HD for mobile. Nobody wanted that.
They get it.
Just what the hell, man?
So
Yeah,
congratulations, Square Enix, for a well.
Yeah, congrats, Square Enix.
Yeah.
The runner-up for this award, though, goes to Nintendo for that Mother 3 joke they did during their presentation. Screw you guys. I hit close to home, all right?
Exactly. Screw you back from Nintendo. All right.
Yeah.
So I've got an award, and this award really comes from my heart because this is a company that loves gamers, like, at its core, and everything they do is for gamer fans. And you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about EA, Electronic Arts. This company, it gives and it gives and it gives until it bleeds, and then it just gives more. And its incredible games are a testament to that. I think its E3 presence was testament to that. So I'm going to hand out an award for the most exciting video game I have seen yet this year, called for the next installment of their hit series, Battlefield. I don't give a shit. Woo! Oh, wait. Oh, I guess people don't care about. Oh, that's so sad. I don't give a shit. Oh, well, okay, I guess I can't give them that award because no one cares. Anyways, there we are. Those were the Cheerful Ghost Awards for E3. Yay! Right, that's right. All right, everyone, your statuettes are in the mail. It's basically a ghost going, ah! So that's great. Okay, one last thing about E3. So, Microsoft. One last thing, okay? So, and I'm going to take it easy on them because we're throwing them so many, like, hardballs on this one.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
Okay. PC gaming is a little niche of the market, right? I mean, so a few people play PC games, right? Like Steam is like they got 4 users, maybe 50, I don't know, something like that, or somewhere around 80 million. I can't remember the numbers exactly. I don't remember, you know. So PC gaming is pretty big, right? Is Microsoft ever gonna care about that again? Because I'm like, there's that E3, nothing about PC gaming. Games for Windows Live, they like shut off entirely. Like, they don't release any of the Halo games on Windows anymore. Like, they've scuttled. I mean, they've worked through a few third-party companies to bring games, like old remakes of their old games, like HD remakes of Rise of Nation. Oh, that wasn't them. HD remake of Age of Mythology, HD remake of Age of Empires 2, and that's on Steam. So those are great, but I'm curious, like, if Microsoft is going to, and this is weird to me, but like Microsoft doesn't seem at all interested in PC gaming. All seems focused on Xbox One. I'm just curious if you guys get that vibe as well, because nothing about PC gaming, no PC gaming ports for anything.
I think they have to. I mean, I think they have to focus on the Xbox One. If they offered, I mean, especially with everything that they've been through with the Xbox One up to this point, if they offered those games on a different platform, they would. I mean, why would anybody get an Xbox One? I
So
wouldn't
you
get an
think that
Xbox
they
One.
released like Halo collection on PC, that their Xbox platform would be dead?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, that would be, because I don't know how much they're actually struggling right now, but the sales figures that I've seen on the web seem to indicate that they're trailing, at least, which is not really a good place to be for them. They have to focus on their platform. I mean, it's the same reason you don't see any Sony exclusive games or Nintendo games on PC, because they have to support their platform. And Microsoft, even though they own Windows as an infrastructure, they don't have anything to gain from putting their games on the PC other than sales. But those are sales that could be helping to drive Xbox Live and Xbox One sales, which they would get not just a game sale, but a subscription sale and a platform sale. So, and that's an investment. Windows PC gaming for them is not really an investment. It's an afterthought. It's extra money, and plus,
it's unfortunate that it is. It really is, because I think it's noticeable. I mean, I know, like, as Windows advances, you're definitely seeing. I'm not thrilled about where they're going with it. I'm not sure many gamers are.
With Xbox One?
Well, no, for Windows, right?
Oh,
because for me, PC gaming is it, right? That's what I love, you know. So like. So like, okay, wow, Windows 8.1, yeah, you know, like, just keep on doing the things that I don't care about, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I mean, I posted an article on Cheerful Ghost. The reason why I bring this up is because I posted an article on Cheerful Ghost about checking out Ubuntu for Steam machines or whatever, because clearly Valve realizes this and they're getting behind Linux, right, as their platform, right, as a platform, SteamOS. I think it's worth considering for people to like note where Microsoft is headed. That it's not abandoning PC gaming, but it might as well. I mean, but I'm not certain that it's a thing that it's considering going forward.
They may not be intentionally excluding it, but they're not doing anything to really help it grow either.
Absolutely right. I mean, if you want a future where it's like Microsoft is always going to be like pointing to the Xbox One, then yay. But I don't. So, I don't know, I'm just not thrilled about that. As someone who loves PC gaming, to see them continually not care about it. And if all they're going to do in the future is not care and ignore it, then fine. My fear is that it's going to be a bit more sinister, maybe, where they're like, I don't know, requiring you have certain kinds of accounts or whatever with, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to go down the sort of like guess path of like, you know, conspiracy theory, but I'm not exactly thrilled with their direction as a PC gamer. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard too with having so many systems. I've said before that I'm not the biggest fan of exclusive content and, you know, having 5 systems under my TV and switching back and forth. I mean, it's tedious, and the exclusivity of games really hurts gamers, you know, that can't afford to buy a $400 system and then a $60 game on top of that just to experience one game. It's a struggle, and it's definitely a problem that, you know, people like Valve are trying to fix, I think. I mean, I think that's the whole thing behind the Steam machine is bringing that experience to the living room and having it be a unified place to come to, and you get some of the support from the third-party developers in the older games that used to be console exclusives that are coming. Like Capcom has been a huge contributor to PC gaming, and Square Enix for their you know, their teasing and
those bastards.
They've been. I mean, just the fact that we can play Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and
absolutely,
you know, their other games on a PC is a cool idea. I would love to see more of that. I can't really blame Microsoft for doing what they're doing. It's just kind of an unfortunate series of events that is more or less inevitable. And I mean, Microsoft are set up to be game changers, which is why I think it's so much more important for them to be in touch with the community, which is why I think that they failed so hard at last year's E3. They're out of touch, but they're in such a position to make dynamic changes to the industry, and they wanted to. They wanted to bring cloud resources into the living room and the always-on technology and the integration with Kinect. They wanted to do all these things. They just don't. It's really weird to say that they don't know what they're doing, but I feel like they don't know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only one other company that could bring you an experience from the console in the living room to your PC, and that's Microsoft and Steam, right, or Valve, right? Well, Microsoft isn't going to do that, right? So you're not going to buy a game and play it on your PC and then it'll sync to your console, right? Although they could, because they got the PC, right?
That would be amazing if they could set
it
that
would be
up.
amazing, but there's only going to be one. There's only one company who gives a fuck about that, and that's Valve, right? And it syncs with the games, and so that's what is so weird. By the time that sinks in with them, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be unfortunate for them. That's why I think they ought to consider getting their ass back in the PC game again, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, it may very well encourage people to buy an Xbox One if you could play your PC games in your living room and vice versa too. I mean, I believe a lot of like Steam customers are like ho-humming the whole Steam machines, and they'll eventually maybe get one because it's going to be great. You know what I mean? It's going to be a great experience. Like, you know, like everyone thought Steam sucked at first when they had to install it to play Counter-Strike 1.6. You know what I mean? Well, now everyone loves it. You know what I mean? So like you can, you know, so I don't know. I don't actually want Microsoft to own gaming. Actually, I just don't, because I think they do. At best, they're ineffective. At worst, they're horribly evil. So I think that, like, I don't know. I think you had the golden year of the Xbox when it was out first, with Bill Gates back, you know, at the helm of the company, and you had an Xbox that was built for gamers, and it was an incredible system. You know what I mean? And they made all the right decisions. They bought Bungie. They had Halo, and I remember Halo parties. And then they had LAN play right in the the machine, and you could hook over a crossover cable, and they had the online play, and it was absolutely revolutionary. Well, now it's kind of a little herpy-derp, so I don't know.
As soon as they introduced ads on the dashboard on the 360 is when I started to lose interest. That's when I started to migrate my Xbox 360 library over to my PS3 and invest more heavily in PC gaming. Before that point, I really liked my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I loved my Xbox. And I think that was the one thing, because I'm an Apple guy, and it was the one thing that made me reconsider Microsoft as a company, because they were doing something really innovative in the gaming space. But now it just reeks of money. I mean, it's all about the money to them, and it may be all about the money to Sony and Nintendo too, but they're producing a good gamer experience, and Microsoft isn't for me. I mean, that's what pulled me away.
Yeah.
It's sad. It is sad, because I do like their games. I do like the games.
Yeah,
the games that they have licenses for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't mind their games either. I think they're really good. I think Halo's great, and I think that they release great stuff. Their Xbox 360 controller is magic. For PC, it's great. It may very well be better than the Steam controller that comes out. You know what I mean? We'll have to see on that. You know, I haven't played it yet. They released a great keyboard. I've got the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard. That's great. It's my favorite keyboard I've used. You know, it's a great piece of hardware. So they're capable of doing good stuff. I just am not thrilled about it. So I don't know. Anyways, and I just wasn't happy about the lack of any kind of PC attention at all. Like, just like an afterthought for them in gaming, which is unfortunate because it's a bigger market than the Xbox One is.
Yeah.
So it just is. Anyways, I think that's about going to wrap it up here for ours. You guys have anything else you wanted to say about E3?
No, I'm good.
All right, awesome.
Dreadnought. Check Dreadnought out.
Awesome.
Have you seen Dreadnought?
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't. No?
It looks interesting. Check that out.
Cool.
Right.
That's all.
That's great. Hotline Miami 2. That was also a game that I thought looked great. Hotline Miami 2. What? So excited about that. All right. So, Cheerful Ghost Roundtable is brought to you by CheerfulGhost.com, the world's greatest video game website on the internet today. You can go there on your Xbox One right now, CheerfulGhost.com. If we're not blocked, you can go there. So, it's an amazing experience. So, Script, where can people find you on the internet?
I am at cheerfulghost.com/script. There's links on my profile there for my Twitter account and Steam and Xbox. I'm Script almost everywhere. Some bastards have edged me out of some formats, but I am Steam, Xbox, PSN. I'm Script. My Twitter account is actually called Subverity, but you can click on the link from there. And I'm trying to be more active there, so if you want to chit chat, do that.
White Boy Slim, where can people find you online?
You can find me at cheerfulghost.com/whiteboyslim or on Twitter at whiteboyslim.
And my name is John Dodson, but you can find me at cheerfulghost.com/jdodson, and you can find me at Twitter at jdodson. And I just wanted to thank everyone for watching this episode of the Cheerful Ghost Roundtable, where we talked about what we were playing and drinking, the Steam 2014 Summer Sale Extravaganza, and the amazing, amazing thing that was E3. Yes, amazing. All right, everyone, have a good night.
Night, guys.